Empowered Minds Club. Also, my friend David is representing Empowered Minds Club as well. And thank you so much for joining us. Just a reminder that when using Zoom, please feel free at any time in the comment box to type a question or share a response or share an idea, or any way of participating in the comment box is great, just like it is answering verbally. And please feel free at any time, if you agree or have something to say, to use the Zoom options of a thumbs up or a clap or a raise hand. Thank you, David, for modeling that for us. So thank you for joining us. Can we just take a moment as we begin to just notice how you feel? Like, where are you on the mood meter? And how do you know that you're feeling that way? Is there a certain sensation in the body that helps you know that you are feeling that emotion? And just know that whatever you're feeling is okay. All right. So, our word of the day is anchor. I'm writing that on the board. Okay, thumbs up if you know what an anchor is on a boat. Awesome. Would somebody like to share what is the purpose of an anchor on a boat?
So it won't like go to the sea, like float away.
Okay, so yeah, it holds it still, so it won't sail away. Yes. The anchor is the thing that holds the boat steady, so that if you do have something that comes along, like heavy waves or wind or whatever, the boat is able to stay in place. So that's an anchor for a boat, and the anchor has a similar purpose in mindfulness, where we might notice that our attention is wandering a lot, but the anchor is the thing where we bring our attention to after our attention has wandered, because the anchor is always there. It's that place that is there. So it might be that anchor could be mindful listening. It could be noticing a sensation in the body. There can be lots of anchors in mindfulness. So last week we experienced that exercise with the hand and mindful bodies, where we noticed all these different sensations, such as heat or tingling, right? So that sensation was our anchor. So today we're going to practice that anchor with mindful listening. So with mindfulness of sound, we're going to talk about that. But first, we're going to begin with just a really short 1 minute practice in mindful bodies. And let's see, I think we talked about it last week. If you can sit in a mindful body, and as just a reminder for what a mindful body is. In a mindful body, we sit up straight. So if you're sitting in a chair right now, that might mean your back is against the chair. So you're sitting up straight, allowing that blood to flow. And if your feet can touch the ground, your feet are flat on the floor. This can feel very grounding. And your arms can either hang at your sides, or you can just rest your hands on your legs. And if it is comfortable for you, we invite you to allow your eyes to close. And if it's not comfortable for you to close your eyes, you can just gently gaze down at the floor a few feet in front of you. In mindful bodies, we are still and we are quiet. And so if your eyes are not closed, we just don't want your eyes to be darting around the room. So, letting this be your arrival into this lesson. You might have had all these other things going on this morning. Allow your shoulders to just fall from the neck. And allow yourself this break where you don't have to do anything. You just have to be. We're resting in awareness with nothing to do. Our bodies are still. Our eyes are either closed or gazing gently downward. As we're ready, we're bringing our attention to our breath. Experiencing, sensing the breath in and out. Just letting the breath breathe you. Resting in awareness of the breath with nothing to do. And allowing yourself to just feel any body sensations. So maybe it's the feeling of your feet flat on the floor or of your body against the chair, or the feeling of your hands on your legs. All right. And many times in mindfulness, we use a bell to transition us in and out of a practice. So once you can no longer hear the end of this bell, go ahead and open your eyes if they were closed. And please know that with using bells through technology, the sound of the bell can sound quite different. Generally, in person, the bell I find to be a pleasant sound. Sometimes over technology, it can just cut off abruptly or sound really, really harsh. I'm wondering if that is why David is smiling. Perhaps that bell sounded really harsh. Also know that in mindfulness, we can just kind of note whether we find something pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. And just notice that whatever is coming up for you is okay. So we are going to be talking about mindfulness of sounds today. So thank you for that arrival practice. We'll be doing some more actual practicing mindfulness so that we can be aware of what is coming up for us. But first, I'd like to ask you a question, and I'm curious. Have you been aware of any sounds today? Aware of any sounds today? This is a time where you can give me a thumbs up. You could comment in the comment box what any sound that you've been aware of today, or you can just feel free to speak out. What sounds have you been aware of today? Perhaps for some of us, it was an alarm or a sound of another human or a sound of technology.
I heard an alarm.
Ooh, thank you for sharing. Anything else any other sound that you've been mindful of today? Whether you found it pleasant or unpleasant or neutral.
No.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing, Hunter. And for anyone else who's tuning in, know that if you want to share verbally, awesome. If you want to type it in the chat box, that's great too. Okay, so sounds are constantly arising. Thank you, Madeline. Oh, the sound of my cat. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so sounds are constantly arising. And they're, doing this dance around us, and then they're passing away all around us. Even within us, we might notice these sounds. So intentionally paying attention to sounds, filling our ears, can not only help us come back to our present moment, but they can also help stabilize the mind and further refine or help us bring in all this awareness of our sense of hearing and our deep listening. We are going to practice now sitting and paying close attention to the sounds around us. So in order to do this, we'll start by getting in a mindful posture. So that mindful bodies practice that we just practiced in our arrival practice, we'll get in that mindful posture. So where our back is straight and we're dropping our shoulders and resting the attention on the breath. And remember that during a mindful body pose, you are invited to close your eyes, but if that's not comfortable for you, just a still, soft gaze down in front of you, a few feet on the floor, that works too, as long as it's a still gaze and our eyes aren't wandering around. Okay. And knowing that it's okay if you find the bell pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, regardless, that a sound is an anchor, as we shared. An anchor brings us back to the present moment. So throughout this practice, just know that the bell or any other sound going on around you is an anchor, something you can pay attention to that brings you to the present moment whenever you have found that your attention has wandered. So, as we are doing that, we are resting our attention on the breath. And we're gently shifting our awareness to sounds. I'm going to ring the bell 3 times. Let your attention go to the sound of the bell and simply listen to the sound from the moment it begins to the middle, to noticing if you can find the point, the exact moment when the bell sound ends. Listen as closely as you can to see if you can hear all those parts, beginning, middle, and end. You might notice how it felt to listen to the bell. You might just note to yourself, was that challenging or was that easy for you? And regardless of how it felt for you, that's okay. Noticing our emotions is part of mindfulness. And no matter what came up for you or what you noticed, it's okay. So now let's listen to other sounds. Without searching for sounds, just let them come to you. You might notice sounds far away, maybe sounds that are in a different room, or maybe sounds that are outside. Or you might notice sounds that are in your room or right in front of you, like from the computer. If you notice any judgments or thoughts about the sounds, simply allow them to just let them be and let them go. And notice if you find yourself trying to identify or label the sounds. See if instead you can simply hear the bare sounds themselves. And just take a moment to notice, can you be aware of sounds that arise and then fade away? Can you notice if there are any spaces between the sounds? And when your attention wanders, as it inevitably will, because we are all human, just gently and non-judgmentally return your attention to the flow of the sounds occurring in your present moment experience. Any sound, whether it's coming from inside a room, outside of the room, or outside, is a chance to bring our attention to our anchor, which our anchor in this case is sound. What you're beginning to develop is observing a single thing for an extended period of time. And see if you can be very curious about the sounds that you notice. Where is your attention right now? Is your attention on the sounds? If it's not, just gently bring your attention back to the anchor, which is any sound, no matter how loud or how soft, it's in the present moment. Now I'm going to ring the bell, and when you can no longer hear the sound of the bell, go ahead and open your eyes. Okay, thank you, everyone. I would love to hear from you all. What were some sounds that you were aware of during this mindful listening practice? So you can either share what the sounds were or how was this for you? Was it easy? Was it challenging? Thank you. I see David in the comment box said he was aware of birds, a helicopter, church bells, an air conditioner. I was also aware of my air conditioner kicked on in the middle of that. And sometimes I don't notice, but I was very aware of it during that practice. Thumbs up if you were also aware of a sound of something like an air conditioner or a fan or anything like that related to air. Thank you. A few of us. Yeah. And those are, like we said, those are sometimes things that we're not even aware of, but those simple things that are in our lives, always that background noise, those are a chance to practice mindfulness, bringing our attention to that. Thank you. Brooke says she was aware of the sound of her dogs. Great. Now I would love to know from anyone, how was that practice for you? Was it easy? Was it challenging? Was it just kind of so-so? Were you aware if your attention wandered? So this could also be something where you could show me like with a thumbs up or thumbs down, maybe thumbs up if it was easy for you, maybe thumbs down if it was a difficult practice for you. Okay, thank you. Iker is showing me thumbs up, so easy. And thank you, Hunter, who's saying so. Great, Madeline, Brooke, fairly easy. And know whatever's coming up for you, that's okay. And that it's different at different times of our lives and different activities that we're doing. It changes many, many times throughout the day. So thank you for being mindful of sounds and what was coming up for you. All right, so we are going to do another, because our word is anchor today, and we know that that anchor is where we are putting our attention to help bring us back to that present moment. We are going to do a short practice that's called anchoring with the breath. Okay, so as we do this, I would love it if, because in our reflection questions today, we're going to ask about what an anchor is, and I would really, I want to make sure that you guys know what an anchor is, and that you can maybe describe it in your own words. So in mindfulness, we use an anchor to connect to the present moment. Oh, and I just saw the comment from David. Thank you. It was hard not to instantly label the sounds. Thank you for sharing that. How would you describe what an anchor is for you? Can you describe that? Can anybody share verbally or share in the comment box? Because if we make sure we know what an anchor is, then using our anchor as the breath during the practice that we're about to do, it'll be easy it'll be easier because we'll be using that term anchor in the practice. So if anybody could share either out loud or in the comment box, what is the purpose of an anchor? What is the purpose of an anchor? Or what does an anchor do? I think it was Brooke at the very beginning who said, we talked about the anchor of the boat and how the anchor helps that boat. It's like a weight. It helps that boat kind of stay still and so that it doesn't just float away. And we can think of the boat kind of being like our attention, that in any given day, our attention might wander to all these different things. I see in the comment box, David said, keep me steady. The things around me feel like a storm. Oof. Yes, yes. And many times throughout the day with many emotions, things can feel like a storm or they can feel unsettling. And so when emotions do feel like a storm, that anchor is that thing that brings us back because the anchor is always there. There's always going to be the sound or the breath that is there to bring us back. So, okay, we're going to just a few minutes left. So we're going to end with this anchoring the breath practice. Okay, so we're going to use this breath as our anchor. And again, if it's comfortable for you, you can allow your eyes to close. And a mindful body posture might help you also to be in the present moment where you're sitting upright, yet not uptight, allowing your shoulders to drop farther from your ears. It's allowing that blood to flow throughout your body. It's going to help you sit still for longer. And bring your attention to your breath. In this practice, the breath is our anchor to the present moment. Because if we are paying attention to our breath, which is here in the present moment, then our mind isn't going to wander, or when it does wander to future or past, we can just gently bring it back to that anchor of the breath that is always there for us. And just notice, as we're using the breath as the anchor, can you feel your belly expand and contract with your breath? Can you notice your chest gently rising and falling? Can you feel the air passing through your nose softly as you breathe? Notice every single detail about your breath that you can. Feel it feeling all the different areas as you inhale. Maybe in your belly or your chest, or air through your nostrils. Is the air warm or cool? Is the sensation pleasant or neutral or unpleasant? And at your own pace, resting your attention on the breath wherever you most clearly feel it right now. No need to try and change or control the breath. Just noticing in your body, where do you most distinctly feel your breath? Is it in your belly? Or maybe in your chest? Or maybe in your nose? And maybe even more specifically, you feel the breath more in one nostril more strongly than the other. And whatever you notice, it's okay. And know that wherever you most distinctly feel the breath, where you notice it, that is your anchor. And that anchor is available to you at any given time for support. Take one more breath, and when you're ready, allow your eyes to open. If they were closed. And now, congratulations. If you were able to notice that breath in one place of your body more distinctly than any other place, or just anywhere at any time, that's an anchor in the present moment, allowing you to be present as you're noticing that sensation of breathing. So, I would love to hear from you all. Where did you most distinctly feel the breath during that practice? Feel free to either type it in the chat box or feel free to share it out loud. What was your anchor? Where did you most strongly, clearly feel your breath? Let's see, in the chat box, David says, in my throat. Awesome. How about Hunter? Where did you feel? Where did you most distinctly feel your breath?
It came out of my nose, so it came down, and I felt it on my legs.
Oh, interesting. So it strongly came out of your nostrils. All right. Great awareness. Thank you for sharing. How about Iker? Where did you feel? Where did you feel your breath most strongly?
For my stomach.
In your stomach. Thank you. Okay. Sometimes for me, it's in my stomach. Sometimes for me, it's in my chest, but it changes. Thank you for that awareness. How about Madeline? Where did you most distinctly notice your breath?
In my stomach.
In your stomach. Thank you. Brooke, how about you? You can feel free to either share it out loud or just to type it in the chat box. Or just know if you can always pass, if it's not comfortable for you to share at any given moment. Oh, and I'm noticing that we are already out of time. So thank you. It's a big thing to notice your anchor, because as we shared, that anchor is something that you can bring your attention to at any time throughout your day, during any activity, to bring you to the present moment. Oh, good question, Brooke. What was the question? The question was just, where did you most distinctly notice your breath? Where in the body? So for some of us, it was in the stomach or the throat or the nostrils or the chest. So wherever you noticed it, that was your anchor. Thank you, Brooke. Brooke says the chest. Great. Thank you for sharing, everyone. So this is just a reminder that we have 3 reflection questions to fill out that Mr. David has put in the Google Classroom to fill out in a Google form. And so the questions are: in mindfulness, what is an anchor? How might it be beneficial to have an anchor when practicing mindfulness? There's no right or wrong answer. This is your own experience, okay? And then, in what situations might it be beneficial to practice mindful listening? Like, how could it serve you? How could it help you individually? Again, no wrong or right answers. We're just curious to hear what comes up for you. So thank you, everyone, for joining. And we look forward to reading your responses, and we will see you next Monday. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great week.
Thanks, Katrina.
Thank you. I find it interesting that with last week's practice, where we ran out of time to do like extra experiential, today we get to do 3 different ones, which is very helpful when talking about the word anchor. All right.